Good morning, everyone. Today, for our Black History moment, I'm going to be going through some Black history as it relates to the great state of West Virginia. You may or may not know that that is where I'm from. And honestly, when you think about Black history, you probably don't think about West Virginia. If I had a nickel for every time I told someone I was from West Virginia and they said, "Really? There are Black people in West Virginia?" I'd probably be rich by now. But we do have a very rich history involving Black Americans. And before I jump into some of that, let's just start with the creation of the state. There were multiple factors that contributed to West Virginia becoming a state of its own. That could be a video in itself, but broadly speaking, one of the catalysts for that was when Virginia decided to secede from the Union. Well, the delegates from the western part of the state were not in agreement with that regarding slavery and many other things. So that is one of the major points that led to West Virginia becoming its own state. From there, we're going to talk about Carter G. Woodson, who is known as the father of Black history. He was born in Virginia, but his family moved to West Virginia, where he attended high school, and he graduated in less than 2 years. He worked in Fayette County, in coal mines, and then later served as the principal of Douglas High School in Huntington and dean at West Virginia State College. He founded Negro History Week in February 1926, so 100 years ago. That has been expanded into what we now celebrate as Black History Month, which is what we are doing right now. Next is Booker T. Washington. He was born a slave, but after emancipation, he moved with his family to Malden, West Virginia, where he worked in coal mines and salt mines while attending school before going to college at the now Hampton University. He actually rose to become a leading African American intellectual in the 19th century, becoming the founding principal of Tuskegee Normal and Industrial Institute, which is now the renowned Tuskegee University. He did this in 1881. He also founded the National Negro Business League 2 decades later. Booker T. Washington advised Presidents Theodore Roosevelt and William Howard Taft. His infamous conflicts with Black leaders like W.E.B. Du Bois over segregation caused a stir, but today he's remembered as one of the most influential African American speakers of his time. You all may know of this next person I'm about to speak of if you've seen the movie Hidden Figures. Katherine Johnson, born in White Sulphur Springs, was a brilliant mathematician whose orbital mechanics and her calculations were critical to the 1960s NASA space flights. As I said, you may know her story from seeing the movie Hidden Figures. So movies to music. We've got Bill Withers. How many times have we sang Lean on Me here at the church? You may not have known, but soul singer and songwriter Bill Withers was born in Slab Fork, West Virginia. And fun fact, anytime I have to drive home, I literally drive through Slab Fork and you see the signs that say Home of Bill Withers. Another fact that you may not be aware of is that there is a building in Kimball, West Virginia, literally across the street from my home church, called the Kimball War Memorial. This memorial commemorates African Americans who served in World War I. The building sits on a hill in Kimball, in McDowell County. Again, my home. McDowell County is my home. This building sits across from my church. I have gone to many events there. The building was constructed in 1928, and the site was the first memorial of African American veterans in the United States. One other thing you may not know about West Virginia and Black history, that it is home to 2 HBCUs. That's right, not 1, but 2, in a state where most people don't even think Black people exist. The first one is now Bluefield State University. It used to be called Bluefield State College, and before that, it was called Bluefield State Teachers College, and before that, it was called Bluefield Colored Institute. Both my dad and my sister are alumni of that HBCU. It doesn't look like an HBCU now, but it's important to know its history. The other HBCU in the state is West Virginia State University. It's a public land-grant university located in Institute, West Virginia, and it was founded in 1891. It's one of the original historically black colleges and universities established after the Civil War. Lastly, West Virginia and Black history is so prominent and ingrained in our country's history in ways that you don't realize. It even involves folklore. If you've ever heard of John Henry, that is actually rooted in real history in West Virginia. So in early 1870s, construction of the Chesapeake and Ohio Railway along the Greenbrier and New Rivers employed thousands of workers. Many of these men were African Americans who migrated to West Virginia in search of jobs. Jobs on the railroad were labor intensive and low paying. They required long hours and were at times dangerous. As the C&O Railway stretched westward along the Greenbrier River, the legend of John Henry was born at Big Bend Mountain near Talcott, West Virginia. The legend of John Henry is just that, a legend, and through that legend, John Henry became a symbol. He symbolized the many African Americans whose sweat and hard work built and maintained the rails across West Virginia. He was a symbol for the Black workers who gave their lives in these dangerous occupations. The legend, as told through ballads and work songs, kept the story of John Henry and the Black railroad workers alive. So, as you see, West Virginia has contributed many things to Black history in the United States. And it was my pleasure to share just a little of that with you, as I, again, am a proud West Virginian and wouldn't be the person I am today without being raised there and knowing my roots. I learned a little bit more about my roots doing this, and I hope you learned a little bit more listening as well. Thank you.